Good morning. Good morning, everyone. So, welcome to this webinar. Um, I'll be presenting to you about Allplan Precast solution for precast construction. So, just to introduce myself, my name is Jason Panganiban, and I'm working with GSI Group as a technical specialist for precast. I am a registered ASEAN engineer, licensed civil engineer in the Philippines, an associate member of Association of Structural Engineers of the Philippines, or ASEP, and I'm also a life member of the Philippine Institute of Civil Engineers, as PICE, and with almost 13 years of working experience using Allplan Precast software, and handled most structural precast projects in Singapore, like HDB, apartments, and commercial buildings. So the objective of our webinar is to introduce the capability of Allplan Precast, especially to the precast industry, and to show on how easy and efficient to use for different kinds of precast elements, from creating the model until generating the shop drawing for submission to the client, and of course, to production. What is Allplan? Allplan Precast enables highly automated and precise design of structural precast elements, precast walls, and slabs. It optimally supports in all phases of your precast concrete project. And it is not another software or an add-on. It is just an extension of the program. Why Allplan Precast? Because it provides an impressive 3D quotation to the highly accurate 3D precast modeling, including accurate production data. It also gives an automated workflow, enabling maximum productivity, and with smart quality assurance, ensuring reliable data to the highest precision. So our webinar content will be interface of Allplan Precast, importing of references like the CAD file, PDF, and of course the IFC. Next will be the modeling of architectural 3D elements, and then followed by precast module as well as iWall, iSlab, structural precast elements, and precast element. And finally will be the element plan or shop drawing. First topic will be interface of Allplan Precast. So as you can see from this video, since it's an extension of Allplan, all the functionalities of Allplan are still available, like these architectural features or functionalities with 3D objects, and also the engineering with the engineering structures functions, as well as the steel structures. We also have the surroundings, basically for the architectural features. And then also the drafting tool, like the normal 2D lines, and of course the 3D objects. We also have the bridge functionalities, and also our topic, precast elements functionalities, like precast slab, precast wall, and precast elements. Then we also have other functions like road and construction. Now we go to the palettes, like properties. We also have the objects where you can filter, wizards, where you can save your favorites, and also in the library. And then Allplan Connect for all users, also the layers, and considering also the planes of your structure. We also have, of course, the type of windows like the plan view, the isometric view, or and also the elevation. We also have this functionality of action bar configurator, wherein you can modify your defined setting. We also have the search function, wherein you can type in what command you want, like wall, and then show in the action bar. So for the interface of Allplan Precast, we will focus on the three types, where are precast slabs, precast wall, and precast elements. Open precast modules, and from this icon or this tab, precast slab, we can see that we have the design where the slab will be modeled as a precast slab element. Then also we have the creating recess and tower crane functions. Next is the functionality in placing secondary reinforcement, including the status admin and also the MEP wizard. Next group is for the modification, like modifying the design, modifying recess, reinforcements, modeling the precast element and connection, and even the transfer elements. The last group is for the modification of mark number, label precast, plan display, and also the collision check. We go now to precast wall. Similar with the precast element or precast slab, there's also a design wherein this architectural element will be converted to a precast element. Then we also have an IFC assistant and also the crane location. Next is the assembly parts, the starter bars, and also the MEP wizard. The next one is we have the modification functions, like modify the design recess, reinforcement, model precast, and also the transfer element. And the last is for modification of mark label, display, and also collision check. Now we go to the precast element or the structural precast element. And of course, the precast element module. So from here, this function is used for any kind of element. The first group is for the conversion of any element into a precast precast object using structural precast element or precast element. Then there's also an IFC assistant. The next group is for the reinforcement, surfaces, status admin, and MEP wizard. The next icon is to explode the converted precast element and turn back to 3D object. The next group is for modification function and transferring of data from one element to another. And the last group has the modify mark, label, display, and collision check. Now we go to the next topic on importing of references like CAD, PDF, and IFC. First is from the file. So from here, we can look for the import, and then it will show the possible formats like the normal files that we import, like the CAD, the PDF data, and also the IFC data. This is only one way on how you can import your references. Another way of importing references will be shown from this video. So we import the CAD file. You can go to your file where you want to save it and select the file and drop to the window. So you can check also the dimension if you have imported on the correct scale. The next one is for the PDF file. So we just go to the file number that you want to save it, where you want to save it, and then just select the file and drop. So again, you can check if you have imported the correct scale. So from here, it's actually 1400 and delta X is 1400. So here, the imported PDF has changed to a normal 2D elements. Next, the IFC. You do the same, just drop from to the window and then select where you want to save the file. And then it will generate the information that you have imported regarding your IFC. You can change your views. So this is the imported file. So now from here, I will show you the third topic, which is modeling the architectural 3D elements. At the same time with the fourth topic, which is the precast module as iWall, iSlab, structural precast elements, and the precast element. And then followed by that last topic, which is the element plan or the shop drawing. So as we have imported the references, we go to iWall, precast element, select where you want to save or create the 3D or architectural element, and then open your reference. So from here, we'll focus on only one wall, and then we go to wizard and select the architectural wall. Here, you can modify your properties as you wanted. Here is a 100 thick wall. Just click from one point to another point and you will have your wall. And then we can generate openings like window, and this has its own properties. You can generate your own design or shape. Just click on one reference and then you will have your opening for window. Another is for the door. So with the same properties of the window, you just select a point or a reference, and then it will generate also your opening for windows or doors, I mean. And then from here, we can now generate or convert this into this iWall as a precast element. So from here, you can see the functionalities, and you can change what type of wall you're going to do. You can also do some adjustments based on these properties, like the mark number, you can control, and also the additional mark number. Just select with the object, and as you can see, there is also already a marking wherein it specifies that this element is already a precast. Then we can provide the connection. Since this is a single element, so we just connect it with the wall end connection. To select the icon and then select the element. So as you can see, you have a functionality where you can change the fixture on the edge or the connecting fixtures. Then we go now on placing the reinforcement with these different attributes or properties. So the basic reinforcement, you can specify what type of reinforcement you're going to use for visible and invisible sides. If you have some openings, you want to put some cast-in nuts, lifting bolts with the property of the fixtures, if you have hollow blocks, and also connection to the walls. So we just select the element, and as you can see, it actualizes the placing of reinforcement to your element with all the information you provided. Now we can add some canopy, and we go to our library where we saved this default and just place it into our reference. Then you can see there's an additional part of the wall, and then we can also provide the reinforcement for that canopy. So this is your iWall. You can zoom in to check or verify the informations inside your element. So the next one is for the slab precast module. So as you can see, we created first the architectural and then we've converted. Now for iWall, or I mean the iSlab, so we just select the file and the reference that we're going to use. And then from here, using the iSlab is actually just selecting the icon from the precast slab, going to the design, and then from there, you can have a selection of what type of slab you're going to model of precast slab. So from here, we will select the concrete slab and then showing you the properties or the attributes of this, and then you can do some modification of your end bars and say okay, and then just pick one point to another point, escape, and then you can see you have generated your model. Here you can change the marking and also the orientation or direction of your slab. This one you can change or choose what type of reinforcement you're going to use. And I say okay. And as you can see, we have generated our slab, precast iSlab. Now we're going to use the half floor and showing the same properties. If you need to change something, so you have the lifting bolts, and also you can have or check if you have some saved favorites, and then you can load it. From here, instead of clicking, you just click on the inside of the boundary, and it will define the shape of your slab. And it automatically divide your element according to the settings or the limitations that you provided. So here, you can see that even the lattice girders are also modeled. We try again for another one, and we'll show you the properties. So you have the thickness of the slab, you have the concrete grade, the girder type. So you can choose which girder you want to use, and then just select again inside the boundary, and it will define your slab. So just to continue, you don't need to escape so much. You can just continue by clicking inside your references. So just to make this slab complete, we just continue by placing all those slabs. And you need to take note that all your references should be a closed shape so that it will detect your boundaries, or the slab will detect the boundaries. Otherwise, if there's an opening, just a small gap, it will not detect the whole thing and will give you an error that it cannot define the boundaries. So from here, instead of I use the half floor, I can just disregard and I will use again the concrete slab. With the same property, and just click on the boundary and change orientation, and just do the same to the rest. So these are all iSlab properties or precast elements. The next topic is we will go to the structural precast element functions. So from here, we change again the building structure, or I mean the file that we're going to save or create your data. So we open again our reference. So we focus on one side and we're going to focus on the column element. So from here, from the wizard, I've saved some defined column. So as you can see from the property, it is an architectural, so you can modify with respect to planes and the properties of the column. And then I will just define my reference point where I want to place the element. So I'll just create three columns. And then I'll create another different size of column. And then define again my reference point. So these are all architectural columns. And from here, we can now use the precast elements and then structural precast elements. So here we defined what type of element and then the properties of the element. And then also have these attributes wherein you can change with respect also with the dimensions. And if you have some invoicing that you need to put in, you can place it in also. So from here, we select the element. And as I have said, when there's a marking, it means it's already converted to a precast element. And as you can see, they are all PC1, which means they are all the same. Now we go to the library and we try to modify one or two elements, and you will see, like for example, we put some fins or skins for this column, and as you can see, the marking automatically changed. It means the software detects that you have changed the profile, so I will give you a new marking. And then we now can put the fixtures like those loop boxes and also the splice leaf. So we're just getting those from our favorite in the library. We can also put our reinforcement. Okay. And as you can see, even though they are from our library, we can still do the modification. So we can still adjust the location of the objects. So from here, I will just put it on the correct position. So basically, this is for the structural precast elements. And now we go to the precast element module. And from here, we're going to use the beam as our element. So we open our references for the beam and we focus on one side only. Again, from the wizard, I have this beam, an architectural beam with these functionalities or with these different attributes where you can modify the property with respect to planes. And then we can just click on one point and you can reverse the direction and click the another point. So as you can see, you have modeled already your architectural beam. So I'll just create 2 beams, and then from here, we need to do a conversion of architectural element to 3D solids. So we select both element, and as you can see, they were converted as a 3D object. And then we can use now the precast element, and then you can have your different types here. You can select what you prefer to use. And again, for the attributes, or you want to change something, and if you have some low favorites, then you can load your favorites. Yeah. See. So now we select our element, and then it will change to a precast element now. So we just change both elements. I think it keeps on stuck. Okay. So just to continue, okay. So as I mentioned, there's a marking. It means your element was already converted into precast. And then now we go to the properties or additional information for the beam, like the cutouts. So we can provide it from our library if we have saved some. And as you can see, you can place it in any reference as you saved it. So now we can have our profile, and we can also put our reinforcement and also our lifting fixtures. So these are already precast elements. So I'll just pause for a while. So as you can see, I just did the 2 topics, which is the architectural modeling of the 3D objects and then convert them into precast. So as you can see now, I intentionally did not complete all the information so that later on, when I show you the shop drawing, you can see that it will generate the information based on the placement or the additional things that you have created to the elements. So to continue, we can go to the element plan, which is the last topic. And you can see that I have saved a default here, and I open all that we have modeled. So from here, even though they are different elements, I can say just click on the element in batch run, and I can define what I am going to export. So it's either PDF, DWG, or DXF file. So you can export all of this in one click. Just select the elements, and then it will generate your shop drawings. As you can see on your right, it is generating all the exported file according to what you have selected. So we have the DWG file, we have the DXF file, and we also have the PDF file. And also, if you have some printer, then you can also directly print to the printer. So it's done. And then I'll show you one sample. So if I choose the beam, open the DWG file. So as you can see, I have this profile, and I have also this reinforcement information. So it generates two types of drawing. One is for the concrete body and also for the reinforcement at the same time. So another sample is for the wall, which you have also provided the reinforcement. And as you can see, for the concrete body, it has the information of the detail that you placed. So if you have the standard detail, you can directly have it in your drawings. Another sample is for the slab with reinforcement detail and also the lattice girders. Then you also have the column, which has also the detail, with the accurate dimension based on your profile, and also the reinforcement information. Another type of slab wherein you have the different shape, and another one for the half floor slab. So thank you. This ends my presentation. If you have some questions regarding these topics, you can just type in or to the chat box provided, and we will answer all your questions. So you can also scan the QR code shown so that you can get all my details. You can send me a message or you can send me via email.